At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Testing level 5. Okay, I think we should have audio now. Thumbs up. Do we have audio? Oh my goodness. Yes. The luxuries of a one-man band operation. Love to get a confirmation here if I have sound, if it's back. I hear you. Good. All right, good. We are back. All right, so let's start over. Good morning. How are you this Tuesday morning? I started the morning off without my microphone turned on. Isn't that fun? But hey, listen, we are here with Coffee with Kruger. Hope you have a fresh cup of coffee with you this morning here, enjoying this beautiful Tuesday morning. I didn't get a chance to see it, but others have told me that it was a beautiful sunrise out there this morning, especially here in the Reading area. So hopefully you had a chance to check that out this morning here, and everything should be make for a beautiful, beautiful day. Now, what's going to make it another beautiful day is the fact that temperatures are starting to drop. We've got that to look forward to as well. Now, before we get to the forecast and all that good stuff, I do want to remind you, and here it is. There it is. I'm here. There we are. Yep. How you doing? But you've been seeing this on your screen here the whole time. But here's the thing. The winner from the contest from last week is Lisa Bell. Now, Lisa, I haven't heard from you. If you know Lisa, tell her to email me at mkruger@weathernorcal.com, and I will be sure to get out that Weather NorCal swag to her. So I will kind of wait for her. I don't want to contact her via social media, via Facebook or anything like that, because of that hesitation, because of the the scammers that can go out there. So by doing it just through email, we don't have to worry about that. Hopefully, maybe sometimes someone will figure something out, right, to make it seem, kind of get, well, they have, but it won't be as dangerous, if you will, to get into that. So, Lisa, please email me at mkruger@weathernorcal.com. Well, we got some people this morning saying good morning. We have got Rebecca Lynn, who is this morning kind of chiming in. There she is. She's saying good morning from paradise. She's got that happy smile on there, so thank you for chiming in this morning. We'll tell you what, let's get to the forecast this morning, and we're going to start with taking a look at the radar. Now, we did see a lot of lightning strikes yesterday. We're going to get into that a little bit later, but there's still, much like yesterday morning, is a little bit of leftover activity this morning out towards northeastern Shasta County, Lassen County, making its way to Modoc County as well. No lightning strikes, which is obviously good. Just some leftover showers, and a lot of that probably, quite honestly, is not even really reaching the ground. Temperature is still pretty mild this morning, 76 degrees for Reading, 69 in Red Bluff, 70 in Chico. We've got those low to mid 60s here for some of the higher elevations, and low 50s along the coast. Now, the visibility is actually a bit better this morning along the coast than it was yesterday. No dense fog advisories, anything of that nature. Let's take a look at what it looks like right now in Elk Country, north of Trinidad. We're also going to take a look at what it looks like in Crescent City. So, despite the fact that we don't have any fog advisories and the visibility is pretty good, we still have what we call a low stratus deck. And that is, it may not necessarily be the fog right there at the surface, but very close to the surface, you've got that marine air that's moving in, and that does reduce the visibility a bit, but and sometimes you can even see some of that patchy drizzle out there as well. But that's pretty much what we're looking at right now as far as along the coast here. There is, of course, some fog out there this morning, but again, not as bad as it was yesterday. You can see about 2-mile visibility in Eureka. So getting out the door this morning here for your Tuesday, July 16th, we've got temperatures in the low 70s, low to mid 70s in the valley right now. And of course, as we go through the morning hours, I do expect to see the kind of the overcast skies for the morning on the coast. And then there you can see the mainly clear skies. Now, places like Modoc County are looking at some showers this morning under partly to mostly cloudy skies. But we take you through the day today, and there you have it. There's that chance for thunderstorms, mainly in Modoc County. Now, we can't rule out places like Fall River Mills, Tennant, Tule Lake, Doris, for example, to maybe also kind of get on the outer fringes of where those chances for thunderstorms will be. But I think really if we just kind of hone it in on one county, it will be Modoc County. But also, notice the temperatures. Look at the valley. We're going to struggle to reach 100 degrees. Redding, I think, is going to be borderline. Redding could possibly stay below 100 today with a high of maybe around 99. But you get the idea. It's not as hot as it has been. Even the mountains are seeing those cooler temperatures, upper 80s and low 90s. All right, let's take a look at your 7-day outlook for the valley. Now, it's not going to last forever. We got another day tomorrow of those cooler temperatures before it warms back up again, and we're flirting with 110 degrees by early next week. We take a look at the coast. Yeah, of course, you got the typical early morning, late night fog, some of it trying to burn off through the afternoon hours, but mainly looking at mostly cloudy skies. Inland, you're dry. Temperatures warming up after today and tomorrow. Same situation for Weaverville. You're back up to 100 degrees, maybe even as early as Friday, but most likely through the weekend and early next week. Now, I've got that chance for isolated thunderstorms for Alturas and Modoc County in general for today. Now, notice on Sunday, I pulled the chance for showers and thunderstorms in Susanville. Still waiting on that potential for some of that monsoon moisture. It's not out of the question. I am watching the potential for some monsoon moisture to come in late this weekend, early next week. But for now, I'm going to keep that out of the forecast at this point here. So that's just kind of a quick out-the-door forecast. Hopefully you got the information you needed. That's essentially just kind of a quick look at the forecast. Now, after this, we're going to also take a look at the fires and the fire perimeters and all that stuff. So all of those things, so you can kind of get a general idea what's going on with that here. Let's see what everyone's kind of, before we do that, let's kind of check in with everybody and see how you're doing this morning. Kimberly is saying congratulations to Lisa for winning the contest. So good sport there. We have, looks like Frank DeNatalie. Please forgive me if I butchered your last name. Morning, Mike, from beautiful Monterey, back at a work day. Tracy Sackett is also saying good morning this morning. Had some rain early this morning. Smelled amazing. You know, that is kind of fun. I love kind of that smell of rain after kind of some of that fresh rain. You know, and we talk about how many times we have these potential for dry lightning strikes, high base, because a lot of times the thunderstorm bases, they're really close to the surface, and that's where you see the heavy rainfall. But these storms have been fairly high based, and that's a pretty typical setup for us. But a lot of times you have, of course, the thunderstorm and rain coming from that cloud, but it's so dry at the surface. A lot of times, a lot of that rain, but not all of it, but many times all of it may evaporate. But because we talk about dry lightning strikes and how it's not, the thing is, we did see rain, but it probably would have been heavier in some areas had it been, had it not been so dry at the surface. So yes, we're seeing rain, and that certainly was good. I know we saw some measurable rainfall in Etna, for example, near, of course, the Shelley Fire. The Shelley Fire got some rain out of this as well. I'm sure that was a huge and massive help for the firefighters. Now, one of the bad things that comes from these thunderstorms are gusty winds. That may not have been much of a help either. So, but yeah, that rain yesterday was certainly a welcomed sight and definitely very nice. All right, tell you what we're going to do here. We're going to take a look at the radar and we're going to show you from the last 24 hours. Now, what you'll see here, look at the number of strikes. Look at the upper right-hand corner of your screen right there. It says total strikes, 401 lightning strikes. So you can see we're really not concerned about where the rain is. We're just looking at all of these lightning strikes that we saw throughout the day yesterday. So what does all that mean? Let's take a look first of all at the Shelly fire. And here's a good thing. We're not really seeing any recent activity coming in from the fire. You see a lot of yellows in there. That's indicating at least a couple of days old. So that is really good to see. Now here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take you over to watch duty, and here's just kind of a wide perspective. I'm going to go up to the screen here so I can kind of show you what's going on here. So you'll notice all these little fires right here. See all of these right here and even these? These are mainly new fires over the last 24 hours. And based on the fact that we saw so many of those lightning strikes, there's a very good chance that most of these little spot fires that developed were from lightning strikes. In fact, some of the descriptions mentioned it was from a tree, right? And then it grew from there. And then some vegetation fires as well. And again, it's not confirmed yet, but the Paradise Fire, which was one of the bigger ones, it of course issued the evacuation orders in that area in kind of near Montague and Wairika. That fire is the reason why there were some evacuation orders. It spread very rapidly. Now, right before we could see the fire spreading and developing, there were raindrops on the camera. So what that tells us is that there was a thunderstorm overhead, and most likely that Paradise Fire was started from lightning strikes. So again, this is just kind of a result, most likely, of all the lightning strikes that we did see, not to mention some that we did see off to the east, but most of them were west and northwest of the valley. So yeah, just kind of interesting here. And let's take you now to, we're going to get out of here. There's, of course, the Shelly fire. All right, now we're going to take a look at the fire perimeter. Here's the thing. Unfortunately, this fire perimeter that you're looking at is 24 hours old. The agency that basically issues these fire perimeters and makes them available to the public, there seems to be some kind of glitch or problem with their system, and basically the fire perimeter, the latest fire perimeters are not getting into the system. So, unfortunately, I can't show you the latest fire perimeter on my map here because it's not available. But based on the latest data that's coming in, we're at 15,317 acres for the Shelly fire. Now, we're at 6% containment. So that's a 3% increase of containment since we were reporting this yesterday. Now, again, keep in mind, this is an older 24 hours ago perimeter, but most likely we haven't seen the acreage really grow by that much. So if it is closer to these communities, it's probably not much closer than what you're seeing right here on the map. 8.6 miles for Fort Jones, a little over 3 miles for Greenview, and not to mention Etna. Let's take you out to the Bogus fire. This will probably be the last day that I show you the Bogus fire because, well, it's 100% contained. So we are in good shape there, haven't seen any growth. Now the Point fire was, I believe it was 80% yesterday. It's up to 90% containment at 85 acres at this point as we look at the Point fire. And it's kind of the distances. And again, since it hasn't grown, there's not a ton of concern for Garberville and Redway, although the fire perimeter is pretty close, right? 1.5 miles from Garberville and 2.6 miles from Redway. So again, that's obviously a bit of a concern, but there are no evacuation orders or warnings or anything of that nature. So just be aware of the fact that the fire is pretty close, but we're just not seeing it grow a whole lot. So that's really it when it comes to the fires, right? Of course, I talked about, of course, the new fires that developed because of the lightning strikes. We'll get into that. Hopefully, none of those really expand and get a whole lot larger. I'm sure the firefighters have been working hard on trying to get those under control. Now, there's a red flag warning this afternoon for central Siskiyou County, mainly in Shasta Valley. Why? Because of gusty winds and dry conditions, not necessarily because of thunderstorms, because the thunderstorms are mainly going to be the east of that area. And we're also, again, those winds, you can see that area of orange, that's where we're expecting some of the stronger winds. So the winds right now, pretty standard, fairly calm this morning. That's good, but they pick up. Look at this afternoon. Look at Shasta Valley in particular. You see those oranges and yellows in there? That's the 30 to 35 mile an hour range. And it's also pretty gusty even for the valley as well, coming in from the south. Also note, the winds are pretty strong in Modoc County and the eastern mountains in general. Okay, so we look at the humidity. That's another thing we look at. It's fairly dry as we go into this afternoon. No big surprises there. So the fire weather risk is high, at least high for central Siskiyou County. That's where we have the red flag warning, and also especially the northern end of the valley, and in that moderate range in the eastern mountains and most of Modoc County as well. So there it is again, the satellite and radar image. Still a few showers left over from yesterday's activity, but as we look at Futurecast, it's mainly Modoc County where we're going to see the bulk of the activity. Now notice by noon we may see that marine layer back off a bit here for the coast, so we'll call for partly to mostly cloudy skies there. But look at Lassen County and look at Modoc County in particular. We are seeing some of that activity popping up. So you see where most of it is in Modoc County, but again, extreme northern Lassen County could see some of those lightning strikes as well. So I have a pretty good sense that we're going to see some lightning strikes this afternoon as we go into Modoc County, and then it really for the most part dries out by Tuesday afternoon. All right, let's take a look now at the 100 plus degree counter. Many of you have been talking about this and asking me the question, well, how many days have we seen of 100 degrees or higher consecutive, right? Well, let's start with the record. The record was set in 1978 between the months or the days of July 17th and August 11th. 26 straight days when it was 100 degrees or higher. That's the record since records have been taken at the Reading Airport since 1893. Okay? This year so far, starting June 28th through yesterday, we've seen 18 straight days where it was 100 degrees or higher. Of course, many of those 110, 105, right? That's what we've seen so far this year. So let's take a look at the calendar. This is June 28th. You can see right there, 101, 101 for the 29th and the 30th as well, wrapping up the month of June. All of this month so far, we've been over 100 degrees here. That puts us at that 18 consecutive days. But here's the catch. And here's why I don't think we're going to come anywhere near that record of 26 straight days. Why? Because we are going to just barely reach that 99 to 100 degree mark. So there's a very good chance that if not today, then maybe tomorrow, Reading will stay below 100 degrees just barely. Same thing happened with us for the records for 110 plus. Right when we reached the record of 6 days, we dropped down to 109 degrees for one day, then back up above 110 for the next 3 or 4 days after that. We would have broken the record. And I think we're not going to break the record this year for 110 plus, at least during this heat wave, because we could see just enough cooling to keep us from seeing over 100 degrees. Here's my thought, and this is just for fun. I say we're off by 1 degree. You might as well break a record, right? Because if we were to see 100 plus for today and tomorrow, add that. Look, that's another 10 days to the 18. That's 28 straight days of 100 plus degree temperatures. And that again would easily break the record of 26 days. And most likely we'd be approaching 30 days or higher because it's going to be hotter as we go into the middle and even latter part of next week. Kind of interesting. That'll be fun to kind of show you that. Let's take a look at Main Street Chico. Looks like everything's going smoothly. Not a whole lot of traffic out there this morning. Take you out to Highway 99 at Neal Road. Yeah. Nothing unusual. You got the mainly clear skies out there this morning. This is Highway 44 at Sundial Bridge Drive in Reading. Things looking a-okay. Gorgeous shot. I was looking at my pictures this morning. That for those of you that sent them, Kristen sent this. Now this is a picture her son who is fighting the Shelley fire. So her son is a firefighter who is on the lines of Shelley fire. This is an image, a photo that he sent to his mother, Kristen. And I don't know if that's him, I don't know if that's her son or not, but this tells a story. I'm gonna have this on social media, on Facebook and on Instagram, and I've got captioned this. So I want you to use your imaginations. I mean, because this really tells a story, doesn't it? You've got the the scarred land from the fire. You've got that firefighter who was probably most likely working a 24-hour shift and just exhausted. And this right here is a reminder of what the firefighters do for us and how hard they work to protect us and to protect our property. So this is another one of those shout outs to the firefighters for all of the great work that they do. So thanks again to to Kristen for sending in this image. By the way, if you want to send in your photos, share them from the free Weather NorCal app. That's the best way to do it because it goes right into my weather computer and I can check those immediately. And you can see it right here on Coffee with Kruger. You might see it on the morning update and you might see it on social media as well. So send in those pictures. We'd love to see them. The fire ones like you just saw, any kind of category, sunrise, sunset, a cool cloud picture, what have you. Your pets. We love them all. So that is kind of a look at that. All right, let's see what's going on out there. See if we have any more people kind of chiming in this morning, getting a little interactive. Oh, one last call here. I want to mention again, this is to Lisa Belt. You are the winner of the free Weather NorCal swag from the contest from last week. So be sure to email me at mkruger@weathernorcal.com. Okay, we have got, oops, what did I do? All right, we have got some more people kind of chiming in this morning. Let's get you back to the camera. There, oh, we are on the camera. Good morning from Catherine Schmidt. She says, rained here at 3 a.m. It rained for a good 20 minutes. But it's dry this morning with a beautiful sunrise. That's awesome. Thank you, Catherine, for sharing that. Let's take a look at what we've got from Tracy Sackett. She's saying it's pretty dry here as well. Still going to have to water. I missed the sunrise this morning. And we've got just kind of the coffee cup emoji. Good morning to you, David. Hope you're enjoying your coffee. I know I am. I've taken a few sips even during the show. I don't mind. I'm going to do it, even though it might be a little rude. Kimberly saying, I'm so thankful for the firefighters. And again, that's just a reminder of you know, the picture that we just saw. So again, thank you to Kristen for sending. I mean, that really is just a reminder. Let's take a look at that again, shall we? I mean, this is just such a powerful image. Let's get this out of here so you can kind of see the whole thing. Just a powerful image out at the Shelley fire. So yeah, thanks again to Kristen. That's an awesome picture. I'll tell you what, let's get in on to the forecast now. And we're going to go into the main deeper dive forecast where I go up to the weather wall and give you more details. Now keep in mind, as you're watching, we want to make this as interactive as possible. Okay, so we're doing that now. People are doing that. You ask questions. Do you have comments? Do you have concerns about the fires? Do you have questions about the heat wave? Put them in the comment section and we'll chat it up. We'll talk about it. So if during my weather hit that I do here, I'm going to be at the green screen. I won't be able to monitor the comments there. But if you have a question, if you have a comment, chime in. Because what I'll do is I'll check them when I get back to my desk here and we will maybe discuss some of those and take a look at them. But before we do that, we've got to get to the forecast, which is made possible. Coffee with Kruger is made possible by Wind River Resort and Casino. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. So thanks to Wind River Resort and Casino for their help and their support. Let's take a look at the radar this morning. And yes, we're still seeing a few light showers. Of course, some of you did report some of the showers you saw this morning. You can see in Modoc County, looks like just approaching Alturas and Cedarville right now. And now a lot of it may be not reaching the ground, but maybe some light rain kind of coming down at this point here. But once that kind of moves on out, we'll dry things out. But then we'll see maybe another round of thunderstorms, especially in Modoc County, which we'll get into here in a little bit later. But there you can see pretty warm still in Redding. But yeah, look at this. We're dropping down to the 60s for some of us in the valley. This is making for a more pleasant morning and allows you to maybe open up those windows overnight to let in some of that free air conditioning before it heats up again. The temperature is mainly in the 60s for the higher elevations and low 50s right now along the coast. So here's your headlines. Slightly cooler today and tomorrow. But we do have thunderstorm chances today, mainly in Modoc County today. But, you know, places like northern Lassen, eastern Siskiyou County could also see a stray thunderstorm as well. Temperatures are warming back up, though, later this week, this weekend, even into early next week. And we're going to keep that areas of dense fog along the coast, but some clearing throughout the next couple of days. But that marine layer is really fairly strong. It's going to be kind of coming and going here throughout the rest of the week, and not to mention this weekend. So you'll notice there's a red flag warning for central Siskiyou County, otherwise known as Shasta Valley. That's mainly for this afternoon due to the gusty winds that we have in the forecast. Let's take a look at another resource that we look at, and this is indicating the windy conditions that we will see in the areas in orange, which helps support the reason why there's that red flag warning. Now, right now, the winds are not an issue. They're below 10 miles per hour in most cases, even below 5 miles per hour. But later this afternoon, the winds, especially in Shasta Valley, even the valley, and not to mention the eastern mountains, are also seeing some pretty strong winds this afternoon. That's going to elevate that fire danger. The good news is, though, by tomorrow and Thursday, the winds should be weaker, not going to be as strong. Still a little breezier than I'd like to see here for the eastern mountains, but again, not as bad as what we're seeing here for today. Humidity is dropping today, but you know, we're at least in the teens and 20s off into Trinity County, western Siskiyou County. Now, obviously, it's much drier in the valley. And then we go into tomorrow morning. We see some of that recovery, which is good. We want to see these numbers increase overnight. That helps the firefighters really make some ground in those overnight hours. Now, look at tomorrow. Tomorrow, we've got 20 to even 30% for western Siskiyou County and Trinity County. That's good. Keep in mind, when we get those relative humidity levels up, that really is a big help for the firefighters. And we don't see the fire nearly as active typically. Now, we've also still got very dry conditions, though, in the valley and in the eastern mountains. Thursday morning, once again, we've got that good recovery. Then we go into Thursday afternoon, once again, 20, close to 30%. Again, for Thursday, western Siskiyou County and Trinity County. So again, that should help in those firefighting efforts, especially since we have those new fires that developed from the lightning strikes from yesterday, or at least most likely from those lightning strikes. So today, we're in that high range, right? We're kind of in the deeper oranges here for the valley, especially the north end of the valley, but even central Siskiyou County, there's Shasta Valley, we're getting in that high range as well. Moderate to getting close to high in some spots here in Modoc County, and not to mention Lassen County. But again, when you look at tomorrow, you see how it's just, we're not seeing as much of those deeper oranges on the map. Now it picks up a little bit for the valley, but overall, it looks like conditions are improving a little bit. Now here's something that's interesting as well, and something I haven't really touched on a whole lot. The drought monitor that came out last Thursday, for the first time, is now bringing more of Northern California at least into the first category of the drought monitor. Now, throughout this last several months, there's been this one little area around Yreka and Doris where it's been in the yellow category that was upgraded to a moderate category. Now, one of the reasons why we kind of got out of that drought is we had just such a great winter, but then over the last few months it's been really unseasonably dry. So as a result, we're getting back into those drought-like conditions. You may have noticed, you know, when we look at the lake levels, for example, I didn't put the map in there unfortunately, but when we look at the lake levels, you may have noticed, you know, as you're driving by the lake, say Lake Shasta or Oroville, you may have noticed when it was really high, and then we can start to see more and more of that dirt kind of around the perimeter of the fire, indicating that, yeah, they're releasing a lot more water out of the lakes than we would like to see, causing those lake levels to drop pretty rapidly. Now, we still have a lot of reserves, nothing to worry about there, but just kind of keep in mind that we are getting more and more in those drought-like conditions here as we progress, probably most likely over the next few months. So as a reminder, we want to do everything we can as things continue to dry out. We got to do everything we can to prevent those fires from starting. Don't drive on dry grass. Make sure that your chains, if you're towing a trailer, are secured and they're not dragging on the ground to create sparks. Don't toss those cigarettes out the window ever. I don't care, even if it's raining outside. Use a grill or on gravel or paved surfaces. Mow your lawn early in the day. Now, even if it's early in the morning and it's windy, don't even think about it. Especially if you're mowing that dry grass, right? Never leave fires unattended and always properly extinguish those fires. Again, that should go without saying. So here's a look at the best chances for thunderstorms. I think it might be overdoing it here, but I think most of it will be extreme eastern Siskiyou County, all of Modoc County and northern portions of Lassen County. So again, you kind of look at the same situation where the potential for dry lightning strikes. This is where we have that best potential. Again, keep in mind, we talk about these high base thunderstorms and the rain falling. If that thunderstorm has heavy rainfall associated with it, even though it's dry at the surface, a lot of it's still going to make it to the ground, and we're still going to see a decent amount of rain in some areas. But for those that aren't seeing the heavy downpours, sometimes that rain can evaporate before it actually reaches the ground. So it just depends on the intensity of those thunderstorms, but the high base thunderstorms doesn't help matters because that just means there's going to be less rain overall. But we take a look at the moisture. It's all coming from, see, this is all monsoon moisture right here. It's very typical, normal this time of the year. When the area of high pressure gets in that right position, we get that flow around that high, and that's what helps to transport that monsoon moisture over us. So there's still going to be some of that left over as we go into today, and you'll see that as we look at Futurecast. You can see there's that the chance for a stray shower towards Modoc County. Even again, you can see even parts of Siskiyou County, but everywhere else it is dry, right? That's noon today. And then we go into the afternoon, see where most of it is? Yeah, Modoc County. This is where I think we're going to see the best potential for those lightning strikes. By the way, notice the coast. We're actually seeing some areas that could see some clearing this afternoon, but then as we go into the overnight hours, yeah, it just comes right back and hugs the coast once again. So that's what we're looking at right there, and we take you into 6 a.m. on Wednesday. Right now we take you into 6 p.m. Wednesday. No thunderstorms in the forecast. The marine layer begins to kind of thin out a little bit, especially out towards Shelter Cove, for example, but still kind of hugging the coast through a good portion of the day on Wednesday as well. Now we're going to take you on into your Thursday. So here's Thursday morning. There, of course, is that fog along the coast. Maybe a little break in the fog, even for places like Shelter Cove. But then, as we go into Thursday afternoon, that fog kind of sticks around, but it looks like we're kind of, again, seeing the southern Humboldt County, the coast there, most likely looking at dry conditions. And on top of that, dry conditions, no thunderstorms for the mountains. But now we kind of switch gears. Let's talk about the heat. Here's the dome of heat to our southeast. But this right here is our saving grace, and I'll show you why here in a second. Say it's heating up again, because it will be. This area of high pressure right here, it's growing, it's expanding, it's getting larger. As it does that, our temperatures begin to increase as it moves closer to us through the end of this week, okay? Then we go into Saturday, Sunday. It's going to stick around. In fact, it's going to grow even more as we go into the weekend. That's when our temperatures really start to increase. But Monday's still fairly hot, but as we go into Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, this area of low pressure right here is finally going to push through at least Canada, right? What that's doing is taking that ridge of high pressure and squashing it. It's shrinking, and it's also pushing down to the south. So as a result, we're going to see our temperatures begin to drop again as we go into Wednesday, Thursday of next week, but still hot. Now, I mentioned this a little bit earlier. If you didn't get a chance to see it, I just wanted to give you a quick reminder that the record of 100 plus degree days straight, so when you see a consecutive amount of days where it was 100 degrees or higher, it's 26 days, set in 1978, from July 17th through August 11th. This year so far, it's been 100 degrees plus since June 28th. All right, and then since yesterday. That's the record, or that's what we've seen so far today at 18 days. But when we look at the overall temperature trend, and we'll get into that here in a second, there you can see June 28th, 29th, and 30th. We wrapped up the month of June with 100 degrees, just a little over 100 degrees, and it's been over 100 degrees here all month so far, including yesterday, giving us those 18 days. So when we look at the 10-day trend, this is where it gets borderline 100 degrees here. We could reach 100 degrees in Redding today. If that's the case, that'll be the 19th day. But we may also drop below 100 degrees tomorrow, which would mean we stop that stretch of 100 plus degree temperatures, and we're no longer approaching that record, because then we have to start that counter all over again on Thursday if we do indeed drop below 100 degrees today or tomorrow. And then now we're looking at, another 6, 7, 8 days. Here's the thing. If we are up above 100, if we are 100 degrees or higher today and tomorrow, add 10 more days to that 18, and now you got 28 straight days of 100 plus degree temperatures, and now we have a new record. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, let's take a look at your wave heights today and tomorrow. Not much change. We're not going to see them really change a whole lot, so we look at your marine forecast. Winds fairly calm out of the south at about 5 to 10 knots. The main concern, if you do need to be out over the ocean, is that patchy, dense fog. So here is your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. And Coffee with Kruger, by the way, is where you get the most in-depth and detailed look. The most amount of communities that are on the map here, the most amount of 7-day forecast. So tell your friends, tell your family that early in the morning, all you got to do at 7 o'clock is go to your Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, download the Weather NorCal app there for free. You can watch the streaming channel, watch this right there from your TV, have it on in the background. And when it gets to your community, if you live in Peanut, you'll know that's going to be 87 degrees today. If you live in Hayfork, you've got a 7-day forecast that I'm reporting as well. So yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of a cool thing we offer here at Weather NorCal. Look at the North Coast. You've got one for Redway. We're looking at a high of 80 degrees in Garberville as well as Miranda, 64 degrees for Shelter Cove. Let's take you up north. There you can see Ferndale, 67, 68 for Hydesville as well as Rio Dell. Fortuna, there you can see temperatures mainly in the 60s, although warming up on Friday with a high of about 70 degrees. Take you up to the north, Arcata, about 62, as well as Eureka, Blue Lake, 65, much warmer inland. There you can see your 7-day forecast for Hoopa. We're going to be in the low 90s through Thursday, mid to upper 90s by the time we get to Friday through the weekend, even into early next week. 73 for Gasquet. There you can see 98 for Orleans. Crescent City, we've got your 7-day forecast for you. Mostly cloudy skies. Looking at mainly that fog in the morning and overnight hours. It tries to burn off through the afternoon, and then we see it kind of return by the late afternoon, early evening. Here's your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. Here's your Wairika 7-day forecast. Temperatures mainly hovering in the mid to upper 90s through Friday, over 100 degrees by this weekend. How about your Scott Valley 7-day forecast? Yeah, we got one for you as well. There you can see 93 degrees today, 91 on Wednesday, and we're in the upper 90s by Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Here's a look at your central Siskiyou County and eastern Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. Weed about 90, 93 degrees for Dunsmuir, and Tule Lake about 91 degrees. Your Modoc County neighborhood forecast. Here's your El Tourist 7-day forecast. There's a chance for isolated thunderstorms. As I mentioned, places in eastern Siskiyou County, you know, maybe Tennant, maybe Tule Lake seeing a stray thunderstorm. And then we've got chances for isolated thunderstorms for all of Modoc County. Not everyone's going to see it. It's just you've got that chance. Places like Bieber, Fall River Mills, you could be looking at the potential, maybe of an isolated thunderstorm as well, but for the most part, it should be dry. Taking a look at Lake Almanor, Lassen Park, you should be dry today and cooler too, only reaching the 80s in many locations with the exception of Chester getting up to about 90 degrees today. Let's take you out to Mineral, the high of 87, 94 degrees for Quincy today, and Doyle about 93 degrees. Looks like Paradise back up to about 100 degrees by next Monday and back up to about 100 or higher for this weekend in Susanville, continuing into Monday of next week. And your Valley neighborhood forecast, look at this. Look at this. Not much in the way of triple digits. We've got low 90s, a little bit of that Delta breeze influence there, so that's going to keep those temperatures a little bit cooler down to the south. But where we get farther away from that Delta breeze influence, temperatures are a bit warmer. 100 degrees for the Redding area, 99 for the city of Shasta Lake. Again, we're splitting hairs. I think it's going to be borderline 99 to 100 degrees here, especially for the north end of the valley, and that'll be the case again for your Wednesday. In fact, maybe even a better chance of staying below 100 degrees before those temperatures increase once again starting Thursday, lasting through the weekend, and we may actually see another slight bump up in those temperatures from Sunday to Monday before, yes, we will eventually start to see those temperatures drop, but most likely still above 100 degrees through a good portion of next week. That is a look at your forecast in detail. Let's see if any of you have any questions or comments or concerns here, and we'll try to address those. And oops, we did that again. So we have got, let's see here. Let's see what we got here. Tried to see the conjunction this morning in West Redding. There were low clouds. In the east, it was hazy. We have got, we've got someone from Hayfork watching this morning. We have got Brandy Clark. Good morning from Hayfork. Well, good morning to you. We've also got Wanda Hutchins saying good morning from Oroville. And we have got, of course, right here in Redding where I am. Good morning, Pam. Good morning to you. Good morning from Central Redding. 2 cups of coffee in your emoji there. I've got my one, although I am on my second cup. Why is it going on here? And we have got Rachel Maxey saying thank you. Well, you're welcome, Rachel. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to help everybody out for those that need the forecast for the day and get out for the day and know that it's going to be a little bit cooler out there today, and not to mention as we go into the next 24 hours. But yes, things are going to be warming up here pretty rapidly, and you can bet that it's going to be a warm day. One last call, that Lisa Belt is the winner of the contest. All you got to do, Lisa, if you're watching, if you know Lisa, tell her to email me at mkruger@weathernorcal.com, and then that way we can communicate to make sure we can get her free Weather NorCal swag. So that is something to look forward to. By the way, want to remind you that there is a free Weather NorCal app. I want you to download it today. That is where you can send in your pictures. And in fact, we had such a great picture and a reminder of what our firefighters do for us that I'm going to show you one more time before we wrap things up here this morning. This is sent to us in by Kristen. She sent it through the free Weather NorCal app, by the way. Fighting the Shelley fire. And you can see there the firefighter after about a 24-hour shift, how exhausted they are from fighting that fire. So again, I want to remind you, you can send in your pictures from the free Weather NorCal app. Just go to your App Store on your iPhone and the Google Play Store on your Android, and you can upload your pictures from the free Weather NorCal app. Well, what do you say we wrap things up this morning? We got Jackie Ramsdell saying, thanks, Mike. It's so nice outside in Redding this morning. It absolutely is. We're going to wrap things up this morning here and take a look at some of the cameras around the area here. We do have one more. I'll try to get that in here. Good morning from Willow Creek. Yesterday we got almost a half of an inch of rain with our heavy rain, wind, and lightning. It was crazy. Well, thank you so much, Vicki Kurtz. What a great report there, and what a welcome sight to have seen all of that rain in the Willow Creek area. That is fantastic news to hear that there was so much rain in some areas. That is great. We can use all the rain we can get, especially this time of the year. Well, again, that is going to do it this morning. Thank you so much for watching, and we are going to leave you with Lake Oroville, North Forebay, and a couple of other cameras before we wrap it up. Have yourselves a great Tuesday. By the way, programming note, tomorrow will be my last Coffee with Kruger of the week. Going on yet another extended vacation with the family. So of course we'll probably have another contest for you as well, as you can try to figure out where we are going. So be on the lookout for that. I will be doing Coffee with Kruger tomorrow morning in your morning update, but the noon and evening updates will be brought to you by Brian Wilson, and not to mention your updates for the weather on Thursday and Friday of this week, and of course going into the weekend. Again, that's going to do it for Coffee with Kruger this morning. Thank you all so much for watching and joining us, and we will see you bright and early tomorrow morning on Coffee with Kruger starting at 7 a.m.